Good evening, everyone. Ads here from Unity Trading Group. Welcome to Wednesday. It's good to be back in front of the screens. I've been in the Discord for the last couple of days, and it's nice to say I'd missed giving you guys some updates. I've had a good excuse over the past couple of days to really justify my absence. So I had surgery last Friday, and I've been recovering ever since. Today marks the day that I feel well enough to get back in front and give you guys an update. I apologize if I sound a little bit nasally, should I say, because that's where the surgery took place. But we are back. So BTC, where have we been? Where are we going? It hasn't been, well, it's been a little bit predictable over the past probably 24 hours, and I've been quite vocal in the Discord about where I think it has, or where I think it will go, and that did come to fruition over the past couple of days. But in any case, let's have a discussion and see where we're going from here. But before I begin that, hit that like button, tap the subscribe button if you can, and of course, tick the bell to stay updated on all of our future content. There is more coming soon. If I feel well enough, and I'm sure I will, I'll continue the updates for the rest of this week, and I'm sure feeling up to it right now. So, where are we going from here? Last couple of days, I've been really hinting that we would go from this area in terms of our touch on our level of demand down here at around 47k, and a movement towards the upside towards our most relevant level of low quality supply, which is about 54k, 54,500-ish, round about there, would be the area that BTC would test as an immediate reaction to our level of demand down here. That's come to fruition now, which is nice. It's good to see that we've managed to get to that level of supply and break through it with a wick. So where to from here? So if I'm following the laws or the rules of supply and demand, we are getting rid of that level. And if we are to call anywhere for a pullback scenario, it would be around here. So first things first, I want to keep the 38.2 on the chart. So let's keep that there. Actually, I might do a longer line. In white. And I might get rid of our fibs for now. So getting out of the channel. So these are the levels that we've got. We've obviously got a level of supply that's been broken. And now we are drawing in our fibs from left to right. Always draw from left to right. We have seen that we are currently getting stuck on the 23.6, and we've touched that pretty much perfectly. So there was two levels that really interest me. One was the 38.2 up the top here, which I've ruled in at 56,600. And the other is the 38.2 that would give us 52,500, which I just mentioned in the Discord as well. If you're not part of the Discord, links are down below if you'd like to join the conversation there. But I think moving through that level of supply that I just removed, a movement down towards our 38.2 at 52,500, and a movement upwards again towards 56 or even 57k, which we see at that liquidity to the left-hand side being respected there. I think that's going to be the most valid play for BTC over the next probably couple of days. Even if we see this come to light over the next 24 hours and we revisit this eventuality for our next update tomorrow night. That'll probably be the case, in my opinion, for BTC. At 56,600, that's probably going to be where I would put it in the immediate term, mid to immediate term. And if we do get our pullback to the 38.2, that will hold up nicely in the way of our RSI, our 50 RSI. And if you haven't used the UTG RSI, I do encourage you to go to the indicators, UTG RSI, and you'll find it for free. So we've added a few bits and pieces in terms of alerts crossing above and below the 50, and you can do that on various time frames as well to keep yourself in the game. In the way of gravy train, however, on this time frame in particular, we are still in our grey area, in our area of indecision. You can see immediately gravy trains highlighting our negative 27, and of course it's coming up to the 50. So if we see some movement over the next couple of days or even the next 24 hours, we could see the cloud possibly come up and retest that 38.2 as well, but we'll have to see where that goes over the next day or so. But in any case, BTC is going as projected, I guess you could say that, because we did retest this liquidity to the left-hand side, and we are currently getting a pullback for that liquidity. So it does hold true to me, or I do think that we'll see that 38.2 in the immediate term before any sort of movement to the upside. But I do think that's going to be the eventuality, a pullback and then a retest. That's 56, 57K area. If we're to look at some other movements here, the dominance chart also comes to mind, and we are continuing to slip, and we have moved through this dominance in the way of our level of demand for the daily. We have eaten away this area quite substantially now. But if the laws or the rules of supply and demand are anything to go by, we have moved through this level of demand now at the 50% mark for the dominance. So it would occur to me that any sort of movement down would warrant the next level at 46%. Now that's going to be very, very nice for the altcoin market. We'll probably see as a result of this, the alts or the total alts continue to surge to the upside. But I wouldn't be discounting any sort of, bounces to really give us some sort of relief to the upside. And we've seen that ever since we've retested this level at the 51% area, where we did have some bounces towards our most relevant levels of fibs, and I think bounces are going to be on the cards the entire way down. So something like that isn't or is on the cards for me. If we're looking at a daily, it paints a better picture, but on the 4-hour time frame, it looks like we could see a little bit more of a bounce, at least to about 52%, and that would be the support resistance flip area for me, and that looks like a decent area of resistance in the immediate term for the dominance chart. All right, let's have a look at ETH USD. Where are we? ETH. So ETH making headway in the respect of our levels of supply, and I have to give just a quick shout out to Ty, or Tex that you might know him as, for filling in terms of yesterday's update. Fantastic update, mate. Thank you for your time. Of course, in the way of the 78.6, as Ty did mention yesterday, that's where we have been rejected so far, and we have moved through the level of supply that we previously spoke about as well. If we're to see anything come to light now, I would be looking for a left to right Fibonacci retrace, and of course the 23.6, the 25-28 mark for the immediate term for Ethereum for now. And that does very nicely line up with the most relevant short-term, very, very short-term level of demand that we find ourselves at around 2,500. I was going to say 25K, but 2,500 for ETH. So not a bad level to look for Ethereum. That would be retesting the previous liquidity and the liquidity that formed some of the previous tops. Of course, I'm talking about the two previous levels that we tested to the left of us now. So that's looking like the area that I'd look towards for the immediate term. Next, we'll have a look at this evening is XRP. So XRP faring a little nicer than a lot of the altcoins, but in terms of the USD pairs, looking okay. And in the same retrospect as our Ethereum pair, I'd be looking for a very similar sort of equation on XRP, where I'm looking at the 38.2 as a retest. Of course, we did move through the relevant levels of supply for XRP, so it's sitting in a very similar situation as BTC as a whole, and it's following BTC a little bit nicer, or in terms of a little bit more closely than Ethereum is. but I think most of the USD pairs will be in the same boat. But a pullback is necessary for me, and the 38.2 or $1.25 is going to be the area that I'm looking towards in the immediate term. And the RSI is trending above the 50, and it will see it retest the 50 if we do get to the 38.2 as well. Last but not least, easing back into it for our updates, is the DXY. It is a regulated market. This is not financial advice, just ideas and the opinions of us here at UTG. And I think the bounce is warranted for the DXY. We've been slipping for quite some time, as you can see on the 4-hour time frame. It's been since the 31st of March all the way up to now, which is the 28th of April, nearly 1 month of slippage since we've had a decent bounce for the DXY. Our current level of supply still stands at 91.52. And I think us breaking above the 50 RSI is a little bit preempted. I don't think that's necessarily any sort of confirmation yet. More than likely, if we get to midnight tonight, Melbourne time, in the next couple of hours, I think it might tell a different story if we stay above this 50 RSI. But in any case, we do need to make headway above some of this liquidity to the left here. And if we are to see some volume come into the DXY to push us higher, especially above our 91.2 gravy train cloud, I think the RSI will stay above the 50 and will start trending above that 50 level. But it remains to be seen. And I think if we do get a decent, and I'm talking decent retracement, or a decent relief rally for the DXY on this 4-hour time frame, I think the 91.52 area, or our level of supply where we did, move down or get a decent leg down out of that zone, I think is going to be the area of interest for me for the DXY. But thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you all for subscribing. We've had a large number of subscribers jump on board since our 1K goal has been broken. So thank you all for being here. If you haven't joined already, you can find the links down below to the Discord. Join the conversation. We're quite vocal in there pretty much all day long. So there's a lot of information and there's a lot of strong traders in there to really get opinions off. If you're interested in Gravy Train, and of course I do really, really recommend it. It does pay dividends to really have this on your chart and in your arsenal. You can find a link down below at www.unitytradinggroup.com/Gravy Train. I'm Ads from UTG. I do apologize if I'm still a little bit nasally, but it will get better over time. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.